Good afternoon, everyone. This committee is back in session, and the time is now 2:03 in the afternoon here on this March 27, 2024. And prior to the recess, we were vetting the nomination of Mr. Pedro Q. de la Cruz, who was nominated by then Acting Governor David Apatan to serve as a member of the Marianas Public Land Trust as a trustee. Lo antes de conseguimos una zona de facile cooperación mizo, por favor, na silencio todo el teléfono mizo, cosa que menos no distractions and estorbo durante the session. I would also like to recognize the former youth senator, Mr. Dauno Agbayani, who is gracing us with his presence here this afternoon. Lo que extende humildes en sincero agradecimiento para la oficina de alcalde Mizo, a señora Aubrey Hoko, ni ha provenido a mi staff niya, tal como si señor Emmanuel Alubia, para asistir como tiempo na talawani. Pago bajo organ y representante kini ni administración, a señor Paul Regis, dan ni maapunta as señora Chanel Manglona por danyayam. Y titonya gini representante y administración y oficina ni Magalahi para introduce candidato gato gesti na komitea por adinganyam de hafa no escolania dan experienceanya candidato cosa que sina hamin komitea intimo de puri candidato. Mr. Regis, you may proceed when you are ready.
Good afternoon, Chairwoman Selena R. Bauta and honorable members of the Senate Executive Appointments and Government Investigations Committee. For the record, my name is John Paul B. Regis, Acting Special Assistant for the Administration under the Office of the Governor. On behalf of Honorable Governor Arnold I. Palacios and the Honorable Lieutenant Governor David M. Apatan, I thank you for the opportunity to appear before you today. I am here to introduce the Governor and Lieutenant Governor's nominee, Ms. Chanel A. Manglona, for the Northern Marianas Technical Institute Board of Trustees, representing the 1st Senatorial District of this beautiful, pristine island of ROTA. Obtaining her degree in English from the University of New Mexico, Ms. Manglona's mission is to return and contribute back to the CNMI by inspiring our youths to explore above and beyond in becoming independent and lifelong learners. An educator for the Dr. Rita H. Inus High School, she continues to be instrumental within the public school system for a better society. Having received the Women in Volunteerism Award recipient, a member of America Corps, and a Red Cross Club advisor. Governor Palacios and Lieutenant Governor Apatan place their full, complete trust and confidence in Ms. Manglona to serve on the Northern Marianas Technical Institute Board of Trustees. I am confident that she stands ready to answer your questions and present her plans for the future. Her professional experience, credentials, and commitment to serving the Commonwealth in this capacity makes her a viable candidate, and we kindly ask for your prompt approval of her nomination. Thank you, Jesus Mosi Giliso, for the opportunity to introduce her to this august body.
Thank you, Mr. Regis. I would now like to introduce, for those of you who were not here this morning, introduce the professional staff of the Legislative Bureau assisting the committee here in ROTA this afternoon. To provide us sound and legal advice, we have our legal counsel, Mr. Jose Bermudez. Our legislative assistant assigned to this committee is Mr. Devin Macaranas. And to keep order and decorum at all times, we have 2 Sergeant-at-Arms present this afternoon. We have Sergeant Benjamin Terlahi and Mr. John De Leon Guerrero assisting the committee this afternoon. We will now refer back to public comments as we did this morning. And I guess, again, I asked the members of the committee, for those who will be providing public comments, to please state your name for the record and the entity you represent. And we will allot you 5 minutes for your public comments. If you need more time, we are flexible and usually allow more time than that. At this time, I will now open the floor for public comments.
Good morning, Madam Chair. For the record, and to the other honorable members of this panel, this committee, for the record, my name is Dean Reno Eamon Lawyer, and I'm currently the Chief of Staff for the Office of the Mayor here in ROTA. The good mayor sends her apologies for not being able to attend, and she's currently off attending to other urgent matters. But she also strongly shares her deep support for the nominee. I'm here today because I want to strongly endorse the nomination of Chanel Manglonia to the Northern Marianas Technical Institute Board of Directors. With her extensive background in the public school system, Chanel possesses a deep understanding of the educational landscape and a proven track record of dedication to student success. Her expertise will be invaluable in guiding the institution's mission to provide high-quality technical education and workforce development. Chanel shares a passion for education combined with her ability to connect to students and staff makes her an exceptional candidate for this role. I have no doubt that she will be a valuable asset to the board. So I'm greatly in favor for her nomination. Thank you.
The floor is still open for public comments.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Senator Donald, and Senator Poe. For the record, my name is Albert Laitano, and I'm here in support of Ms. Chanel Muloni's nomination to NMTI. With Chanel's experience and background as a teacher and counselor, that will be a plus for NMTI, taking into consideration that she can implement policies and programs that will help students that are not college-bound, but rather on the vocational side. So I ask for your immediate confirmation of Chanel's nomination. Thank you. Luz Mosse.
The floor is still open for public comments.
Buenas tardes. For the record, my name is Donald Manglo Nyagbayani, and I'm a resident of Sirpao, Puruga. I'm an educator. It is with this distinct pleasure that I stand or I sit today in support of Chanel Manglonia's nomination to serve as a trustee for the Northern Marianas Technical Institute, NMTI. I truly believe that Chanel has the intelligence and the drive to serve well in this capacity. It is indisputable that Chanel has always been dedicated in her line of work as an educator. And as such, I know that Chanel shares the same values and the same goal of ensuring that everyone has the opportunity, the resources, and the motivation to keep on learning and to keep optimizing their potential to become hardworking and contributing members of our society, just as the Northern Marianas Technical Institute does. As a business person, Chanel understands the importance of developing skills and experience that cannot be taught just by sitting in the classroom, but by trying and doing. With her experience, she's able to develop and hone policies that not only provide rigor to NMTI's instructional design, but to also ensure that learners apply them in the pursuit of finding careers, opening up businesses, climbing corporate ladders, and ultimately reaching their goals. In addition, Chanel understands the great importance of fiduciary duty and balance as a business owner, and if given the opportunity, I know that she will use these skills to ensure that NMTI's assets and capital are maintained and properly utilized in order to continue upholding the values and purpose of the Northern Marianas Technical Institute. Huhongi daw tungo na kumo enay tansa si Chanel para representahin como uno na trustee. Sempre atsogi todo ni nasinyonya. Para zamona na zanza hululu interes todo is NFTI. With this, I truly believe that Ms. Manglonia will be an excellent choice to serve as a trustee of the Northern Manos Technical Institute, and I humbly urge this body to consent to her nomination. Thank you.
This is I'm going to dislocate Senor Bayani. The floor is still open for public comments.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Senator Pons, Senator Malone, and all members of this committee and the staff support. My name is Timson Nicola, resident of ROTA. I live in the Paulo village. I would like to first acknowledge and extend big appreciation and thanks to our Governor, Palacios, and the Lieutenant Governor, Kaito. Well, I think it's an essential milestone that we have a representative here that would really carry on the NMIT. And I do not need to emphasize more that it's not just on ROTA, but I believe that now many of our kids will be going abroad to do some training or education. And with respect with the US, because I'm falling also within the labor there, and the labor of a CNMI, including one. In today's time in the US, it's about trade-driven economy of labor. It's not academic. So this one, we really need this kind of services, and I'm pretty sure Ms. Manglonia here can take that challenge and also share the opportunity with the kids that we have here, including the entire CNMI. With that, I would highly recommend and in full support that without any delay, please let's work together and approve Ms. Mulan. Thank you very much.
This is Senor Nicolas. The floor is still open for public comments.
Good afternoon, honorable delegate. My name is Desiree Pendergrass. I'm a resident of ROTA, also a colleague of Ms. Chanel Manglonia. I am honored to provide a testimony for her. She's been nominated to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees for the NMTI. Having worked alongside Chanel for a decade, I can attest her unwavering dedication to education, her students, and the community at large. Chanel exemplifies diligence in every aspect of her work. She consistently goes above and beyond to ensure the success of her students, always seeking what is most beneficial to their growth and development. Her commitment extends far beyond the classroom as she generously dedicates her time after work to assist students from sports, college applications, scholarships, and also actively participates in the community events. One of Chanel's most remarkable qualities is her innate ability to inspire and support students. It is no surprise that students frequently seek Chanel out for educational advice and guidance. Her proactive and focused approach, coupled with her natural leadership abilities, make her an invaluable mentor and a role model for her students. Chanel Manglonia's passion for education, her tireless dedication to her students, and her active involvement in the community makes her an exceptional candidate for this position. I wholeheartedly endorse her nomination, and I'm confident that she will continue to play a significant and positive impact in her new role. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Thank you, Ms. Pendergrass. The floor is still open.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aaliyah Mendiola, and it is with great pleasure and profound admiration that I'm here before you today to speak about someone who has made a considerable impact on my life. My former high school English teacher and current colleague, Ms. Chanel Manglonia. Over the course of more than a decade, I have had the privilege of knowing Ms. Manglonia, whose influence has left a significant mark upon my personal and academic journey. During my time as a high school student, she was the one teacher who had the greatest influence on me. As a student, I was very timid and afraid of stepping out of my comfort zone. However, Ms. Manglonia saw the potential in me that I didn't see in myself, simply by believing in me and telling me firmly that I had the power to do things. She coached me through an Attorney General's speech competition, mock trial for 2 years in a row, and guided me through my close-up experience in the mainland. Needless to say, she was a significant part of my high school experience, and for that, I will always be extremely grateful, because if it weren't for her unwavering faith in me, I never would have had those experiences for opportunities for learning and growth. Ms. Manglonia, together with other phenomenal teachers, launched our school's first American Red Cross Club, in which again, she encouraged me to take part in. Through this organization, I further learned the value and necessity of selflessness. She is the epitome of a mentor. She made me not only want to become a better student, but a better individual for myself and others. Through her constant push, I changed my perception and began to hone this confidence and belief in myself more. This in turn allowed me to become a more productive, proactive student and individual in the community. Even after I graduated, I still carried her belief in me and wanted to make her proud. When I graduated college, she was the first person I was most excited to share the news with. I'm sure many students can attest to the dedication she has to her profession. She was not only my teacher, she was a catalyst in all the opportunities I would take thereafter, with confidence and the belief that I was capable of great things. Now, as her colleague, as a fellow educator, and a fellow mentor, I witness the latest young minds that she continues to strive for and help to access their potential. I consider myself privileged and honored to be presently working alongside someone whose passion is helping children understand and utilize their limitless capabilities. My goal is to help other students in the same way that she helped me. In everything she does, Ms. Manglonia does to the absolute best of her ability and then some. Nominating her as a board member for the Northern Marianas Technical Institution will in no doubt make an enormous positive impact on our future generation. Thank you all very much for your time and attention today.
Thank you, Ms. Mendiola.
Good afternoon. My name is Ronnie James Santaiska. I'm here today in support of our nominee, Chanel Manglonia, to be one of the Board of Trustees. And with all this testimony earlier, I believe I have confidence in her, and I urge each of you to please confirm her as a Board of Trustees. And I will know, I have confidence that she will do a lot for our people here in ROTA, not just ROTA, but Cinemax. So please confirm her, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Taisigan. The floor is still open.
Good afternoon, everybody. For the record, my name is Aubrey Manglonia, and I'm a student at Dr. Rita Makub Enos Junior Senior High School. I have had the privilege of knowing Ms. Chanel both professionally and personally, and I can attest to her hardworking nature and strong leadership skills. I believe that Ms. Chanel is an exceptional individual who has constantly demonstrated her unwavering commitment to education and leadership. Her tireless dedication to her work and her students is truly inspiring to many, including myself. Ms. Chanel has always been willing to go the extra mile to ensure that her students receive the best possible education and support. I have witnessed firsthand that she takes pride in her work and is constantly seeking ways to improve the educational experience for all of her students. Ms. Chanel's positive attitude and strong work ethic make her an asset to any organization, and her leadership skills are very admirable. She has the ability to motivate and inspire others to achieve their goals and works well in a team environment. Her passion for education and her desire to make a positive impact in the world make her a perfect candidate for the Board of Trustees at the Northern Marianas Technical Institute. I am confident and I do not doubt that Ms. Chanel will be an outstanding advocate for students and faculty. With her hardworking nature, her dedication to her education and our education, her strong leadership skills, I believe that she will be an amazing addition to the Board of Trustees. I wholeheartedly believe that she has the potential to make a significant impact on the future of education, and I am in favor of her nomination. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Manglonia. The floor is still open for public comments.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sophia Songsong, and I'm a student at RHI. Ms. Chanel is a true inspiration. With her warm smile and encouraging words, she creates a safe and inclusive environment where every student feels valued and heard. Ms. Chanel's dedication to her craft is unwavering. She goes above and beyond to ensure that her lessons are engaging, relevant, and thought-provoking. She breaks down difficult Grammarly rules and literature devices in a way that makes them accessible and understandable for everyone. Her patience and willingness to help her students succeed are truly remarkable. Beyond the classroom, Ms. Chanel serves as a mentor and a role model. She nurtures our creativity and encourages us to express ourselves freely through our work and through our personalities. She celebrates our achievements and guides us through challenges, instilling in us a sense of confidence and self-belief, reminding us every day how willing she is to invest in our future. Ms. Chanel's impact expands beyond the subject of English. She has taught us school isn't just a workplace but a second home from home, guiding all her students academically and mentally, showing us that we have a person to talk to when things get rough, and going as far as lending a hand during college and scholarship applications to help us create a brighter future for ourselves after high school.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson.
Hello everyone, my name is Anina Regis and I am a student at RHI. Ms. Chanel, my English teacher, is more than just someone who teaches grammar and literature. She's like a beacon of wisdom and encouragement, guiding us through the world of words with patience and kindness. Her passion for storytelling makes every lesson come alive, and she's always there to lend a helping hand or offer a word of advice. In our class, we not only learn about literature but also about life, thanks to her nurturing guidance and unwavering support. Not only is she a teacher, but also a mentor and a friend, making a meaningful impact on all of us. I have found the courage to do things out of my comfort zone because of her. She has shown me that this world holds many opportunities for us to seek and to go out there after graduation and explore them. Each day that I go to school, she is nothing but a guiding light in our classroom. She's always there with a smile on her face, ready for her students, ready to help us understand everything. Her love for teaching is contagious, making every lesson exciting and fun. She teaches us important life lessons like kindness and resilience. With Ms. Chanel, learning feels like a journey of discovery, and we're grateful for her guidance every step of the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Regis. The floor is still open for public comments.
Pwede ate manoso ng sunandizo wini. Buenas tardes. Para ako, Madam Chair, and Senator Dano, Senator Po, dan lokwe yung mga kumpanyang zumagi para dan todo yung presente pa ako nataluan ni inano si Angela Manglonia kumagay kiso ko ini babay sa kota na kandidato na pargon no maulit na pargon berti di ako tumuod sa rosya tilalang ko law wala na pargon sa ipago maestra dagilin eno mo maestra no sinya suli waktu za ajuda ROTA siya no NMTI na para no van maajuda pamaguon na eno na no trade school pues fondo ni corazón no gagawang sa favor de corazón mi lokwe la cocina en confirma si Saneo Manglonia para board gi NMTI sa lokwe cosa que siya mamaisin ang tumalong mamaisin da siya na suli mga kilokwe eno na no NMTI para luta para ifamaguon gwini ne para fan eskwela gi trade school sa por favor confirma si Saneo para eno na board dangklo na si Jesus Masi da si Jesus atalo bersama na si Jesus pambinindisi da si Jesus yang panina susu dagi maulik na si Jesus Masi
Señora del Jesus Masi Miss Manglonia. The floor is still open for public comments.
Good afternoon, honorable members of this panel. My name is Eugene Ogle. I am here in support of Chanel Pinonia. Women of Morales Technical Institution. We have heard prior testimonials from other individuals, and I believe she's pretty much qualified. And I hope that she gets confirmed, and I ask you guys to confirm. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ogle. The floor is still open for public comments.
Hi, my name is Ray Martita. I go to school to RHI, and I'm still a 10th grader, so I haven't taken her English classes, but she has been my coach for every school sports event, and I can say that she has great leadership, and she always pushed me to try my best, and she's a great person and teacher. Thank you.
Cesar Moss and Ms. Maritita. The floor is still open for public comments. If there are no further public comments, we will now close that portion of this agenda. For the record, the committee received letters of support from the following individuals: Ms. Avery H. Cowell, Ms. Mariette Elena O. Barcinas, Ms. Tonica S. Barcinas, Ms. Teresita A. Santos in her personal capacity as a former teacher to the nominee, Ms. Christine M. Cabrera, and the committee did not receive any letters in opposition of Ms. Manglonia's nomination. I now invite the nominee, Ms. Chanel Manglonia, to please rise and raise your right hand. And Mr. Devin Macron will administer the oath to you.
Chanel A. Magona, you do solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you shall give in the matter at hand shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You may receive it. Thank you. Buenas tardes, señora Manglonia. Bienvenido para Hollywood a mi familia Musias a mi público ni man presente pa uwini. Na talwani zaman participar uwini gi patin demokrasia kita nota Marianas. Este para maina e educação mo e qualificação mo da licença mo para fazer como uno na membro de NMTech. Partiste no único na força de San Hilo na guma legislatura, coisa que o sauno loki e legislatura o guarda guinada de sistema de governamento, já inigi na magagit gini pa una talwano. Governor Arnold I. Palacios resubmitted Ms. Manglonia's nomination on March 5th, 2024, representing the 1st Senatorial District of ROTA. I will now open the floor to Ms. Manglonia if you so choose to provide any opening remarks to the committee. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairwoman Babata, members of this committee, and everyone here today. First, I would like to express my gratitude and appreciation to Governor Arnold Palacios and Lieutenant Governor David Apatang for nominating me to serve as a member of the Board of Trustees for the Northern Marianas Technical Institute. Their belief in my abilities to represent the 1st Senatorial District fills me with humility. I also want to take a moment to extend my thanks to my family and my friends and the countless students, past and present, for their unwavering support and encouragement as they have been instrumental in shaping both my professional and my personal growth. As an educator with over a decade of experience, I am continually humbled by the impact my students have on me. I often find myself in awe of the journey that they take me on. To me, they're not just people that I have to teach. They're constant reminders of shared dreams and the boundless potential that we all possess. Through their triumphs, both big and small, they have shown resilience, passion, and determination. It is their commitment to learning that serves as a source of inspiration, pushing me to evolve not only as an educator, but as a mentor and a person. In each of my students, I see the potential to mold a brighter future for the Sinai. Despite not being my own children, I feel deeply responsible for guiding them towards their fullest potential. I believe that it is my obligation to cultivate a learning environment where they can thrive, grow, and leave an imprint on this world. Furthermore, as an educator, my commitment and connection to these students extends farther than the walls of my own classroom. Witnessing their success is my ultimate aspiration. That's when I know that I have fulfilled my duty. Oftentimes, these students underestimate their potential due to the small size of our islands. However, little do they realize it is their innate potential that nurtures and uplifts our community. This is one reason why I am driven by a personal mission to empower individuals and ensure that their future is everything that they want it to be. With this being said, being afforded the opportunity to be a part of an educational institution that values and supports the advancement of individuals passionate about technical and trade vocations is a responsibility that I will not take lightly. I am excited at the possibility of contributing to an environment that fosters personal growth and cultivates a deep sense of purpose. In addition, the opportunity to contribute to strategic decisions that shape the future and minds of our young adults in the CNMI fills me with excitement and a profound sense of duty. I am ready to lend my voice and experiences to help make decisions that will not only impact the island of ROTA, but also shape the collective future of our CNMI. In closing, thank you for your time and consideration. I am grateful for the nomination and I'm eager to embark on this journey of service and contribution to the Northern Marianas Technical Institution and our whole community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mangona. May we ask you for a copy of your statement to be provided through the Sergeant at Arms. Welcome again. We will now begin the question and answer portion of this hearing. And I will first recognize Senator Donald Mangona.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon to everybody present here today. I just want to state for the record, and I did register this in our conflict of interest form, that I do share a familial relationship with Chanel. However, it is still our duty to vet the nominee and answer the questions that have been brought up by the community, as well as concerns shared by the members in the community. And also I've worked with Ms. Chanel as a teacher, as a former educator at RHI, and so I've seen the work that she's done. With that, Ms. Chanel, a lot of the speakers that came in support of your nomination brought up your time as a coach. I guess you're still with AmeriCorps today. You also are involved in numerous extracurricular activities, as we've seen you chaperoning students on Saipan. How will you have the time to balance that in addition to your role, if confirmed, as a trustee for NMTI?
So a lot of the time I don't work by myself, and so I have other teachers who I also work alongside, and so I think I would be able to balance my time by asking for help from others who are willing to take over if I have to be absent or if I have to go and attend to other duties.
And do you still teach seniors primarily?
I teach juniors and seniors.
Do you have an idea, or at least maybe within the past few years, what percentage of those students don't go the traditional route of college or military?
There have been a handful of students who actually don't go to traditional college, but I know that there are a bunch who get into the military, and then some who just stay on island and work.
Do you know of any students, current and past, that have at least sought certificate programs to NMTI?
I know this past summer we had a couple students who took courses at NMTI this past summer.
Current students, or?
Yeah, they're current students right now.
Have they shared their experiences with how that program went? Because I think that's something new and that's something we haven't heard of. Is that an actual certificate program, or is it just like a...
I'm not sure if it's an actual certificate program, but I know that a student who participated there mentioned it to me, and they were able to take courses over the summer. But I don't know if it was an actual, I think it was just some sort of partnership within PSS and NMTI.
Do you know what kind of programs the majority of the students are interested in that they would like offered if NMTI were to hold classes here in ROTA?
Well, based on the students that speak to me, a lot of them are interested in things that deal with like culinary arts or cosmetology, even mechanics, electrical.
Have you sought out with NMTI what are some of the reasons why, or what are the challenges are in trying to offer these courses to people here on the road?
I remember I attended one, I think it was a job fair or a career fair, and I spoke to one person from NMTI, and I think that one issue that makes it hard to open an NMTI site here, I guess on ROTA, is the lack of instructors who are willing, I guess, to teach here.
So with that said, and if confirmed, how will you try to address that issue or challenge?
Well, I guess, nowadays, at least even in my classroom, a lot of things can be done through technology. I know that maybe a trade school or technical school deals with a lot of hands-on things, but if I can do an escape room through the laptop, I'm sure that they can move wires around with the laptop too.
Some of the concerns we've heard from NMTI is even just the challenge in getting students interested. And we're talking about right now, we have this challenge of the CW program coming to an end, and so we have to find ways to fill the need for professional individuals in construction or hospitality. And I don't know if it's a pride thing with some of our people, or if it's a pay, if it's the pay is not enticing enough. So what do you think, or how do you feel NMTI should approach that and try to draw in those students that don't go through that traditional route after high school?
Sorry, your question is?
How do you feel NMTI should try to market maybe, or try to attract potential individuals from enrolling in these programs?
So you mean like to promote NMTI?
Basically, yes.
So I think working with students daily, I think one way that we can promote, I guess, NMTI is students learn by example. And so I think one way we could do this is by maybe looking for people who have gone through NMTI so they can come and share their stories if they're successful. And I think that a lot of students would benefit from that. I think they need to know that they can also do it. But the way that they can know that is if someone shows them.
Thank you for that. Earlier you mentioned that there were a couple of students that went through this program in the summer while they're still enrolled in high school. Are you familiar with the program other than what the students have mentioned?
I actually didn't know that they were there for a course in NMTI. It was only till we came back from school that they mentioned it to me.
So you think that's where the maybe dissemination of information was lacking, or do you think there needs to be a stronger partnership with PSS and NMTI?
I think that that NMTI could be promoted better. Maybe nowadays a lot of students or kids have phones or devices, and so maybe they could reach out through social platforms. Maybe hold more job fairs so they can be more aware of different opportunities that are afforded to them.
And do you know if those students that did go on that program, do you feel there would have been more participants had they known of the opportunity, or were these,
I think
a national challenge in trying to send a lot of the students out?
I think that this program that they went to, I think ROTA had a limited amount of slots, but I think that if it was open and they were given more slots, I feel like more people or more students would be interested in participating.
Thank you. Just a few more. The next question I have is, I know you mentioned that some of the programs that students have brought up to you are in the field of cosmetology and stuff like that. But in your opinion, based on ROTA's labor conditions, what do you think would be needed here in ROTA? What are some certificates that would greatly benefit our people, but also our community or our economy here in ROTA?
I think that one of our greatest needs maybe would be something that probably revolves around blue collar jobs like construction maybe, or maintenance. I think that a lot of these students, especially the boys, at least in my class, they're really good with their hands and they can make bicycles from scratch and put wires together and make something work. So I think that jobs that relate to that might be very beneficial.
Thank you for your responses today. And just a leaving recommendation, a closing recommendation is, if confirmed, I hope that Ms. Mendiola, the former trustee, between the time she left up until now, we've been without representation. And so I hope that if confirmed within the next couple of weeks, and as we go through the budget process, I hope that you can get together with other trustees and figure out how can we better promote the program here in ROTA, or provide better support, or like you mentioned, use technology as a way to close that gap in trying to extend some of these programs to our students here. But also what may be the financial challenges in trying to either send more students up or pay for an instructor to fly down regularly instead of having somebody stay here throughout the certificate program plan. And then also maybe if PSS does not have a facility to provide NTI to use for any educational purposes, what are some of the steps we can take to utilize some of the NMC classrooms here that could host or be used as a facility to provide these training programs? And so, the budget process is usually around the summer, and so there's enough time to look through some of these issues and challenges and share with the committee, the Fiscal Affairs Committee during the budget deliberations, so that we can try to address some of the concerns that you will probably find out as you get your feet wet, again, if confirmed. And so that is all I have for now, Madam Chair, and I yield.
Thank you, Senator Donald. I will now recognize Senator Carmen Lonia.
Madam Chair. I also want to declare that I'm a relative, a second degree relative to Chanel. But I don't really get to know her yet fully the way I want to know her, because I know that as teachers, right? Teachers are always busy. They're always going to school, come home, and then take care of the kids, and enough, during the day to deal with students. So I'm very glad that this week is Easter week, and otherwise we wouldn't see all these students and teachers in the hearing. So thank you for joining our hearing today. NM Tech, like other boards and commission, are set up such that ROTA has one representative usually, Tinian has one, Saipan has 3 or 4. And so that's one challenge in trying to get across what we need in a small island. And reading some reports here, I believe last year they graduated 122 students on Saipan. And of course that's across various trades and vocation, right? So it's going to be a challenge for ROTA and Tinian to have a class because I might only go for 3 students or 1 or 4, right, in any given trade, and that's the challenge that we have. So I guess we need to be creative. We need to use technology. We need to maybe deal with the college or the high school. And so I know that there are programs now such as the Trading Up program. Are you familiar with that, or is that now is there such a program with PSS where they collaborate with PSS and or going to PSS, also attending NM Tech class? Is that going on now? Do you know?
I'm not too sure.
So maybe that's a program that we need to pursue and see how we can target those students, maybe junior, senior, and then work it in such a way that we can make courses or trainings possible for those students, because our challenge in the legislature is trying to justify, it's very difficult to justify an automotive mechanic class when there's only two, right? So if we can somehow find a way to include some of the high school students, as well as those students who graduated years ago that are interested in a particular program, and then working with, especially like the Chamber of Commerce. And I mentioned the Chamber of Commerce because for a long time we've been trying to encourage the creation of such a body on ROTA. So we're fortunate that now we have, I believe, an active ROTA Chamber of Commerce that we can work with, because they are the business owners, the members, and so they know what position, job categories that we will need on ROTA. And so we would be working closely with you, because it's a challenge really to find a budget, and sometimes even the individual that's qualified to teach that or to train in that particular field to come to ROTA and stay here. Also, that's the challenge that we have. But we're excited a little bit because there are projects that we're looking into the future that might be realized soon on ROTA, such as the Solar for All project, right? And the governor has already instructed the CIP office and the grant office to start the project in a few months, beginning with the island of ROTA. And it's not easy to install 500 solar panels for 500 homes. We need young people to be able to cover, get those jobs and be trained right in time. So that's exciting because it provides opportunities for some of our young kids here on ROTA. We have the ROTA Resort. I mentioned earlier that by this year we expect that golf course will be bid out to a new partnership with the community, and hopefully that can be renovated and operated back soon. So we will need employees for ROTA Resort as well as for Mr. Paul Hotel also. So we need to be prepared, and not to mention the CW issue that we're facing also with the continuous reduction in the labor permitting for such a permit. I want to say to also mention that scholarship opportunities like the CNMI scholarship grant or the ROTA Municipal Scholarship, I believe can be made available for this program. So I believe that not many students see that also as an opportunity, and that could be something that you and the ROTA Municipal Scholarship Board and working with the delegation can take advantage of, so that even if there's one student here and the program is not here available, we can send that student to Saipan, give them housing and subsistence, and I guess for maybe even find an employment on Saipan for them while they're taking the grade school, right? So I guess your challenge not only to bring the program here, if we can bring it, the better, but if not, we can send them on to Saipan and be trained there with scholarship assistance. Do you know how many students are graduating this year from high school?
I'm not sure of the number, but I don't think it's more than 45.
Not more than 45. So on a given year, would you say there's 50% that are looking at post-secondary or college, and then maybe 15% for military, and then the rest are looking for employment, 35%, or would you say 50% of them are looking for employment right after graduation? I'm just curious.
I know that there are a handful of students that I've already been helping, trying to get into college, but I know also that recently a bunch of students also were taking the ASVAT or took the ASVAT, and so yeah, I think there's a good amount of students trying to get into the military, into college, and also working here.
Would you say maybe 40% are looking for employment?
I think so.
Are there any programs that you're aware of in working with your students that NMC is offering in the vocational area right now?
I'm not aware of any programs that NMC is working with our students, but I know that recently I worked with Ms. Diana Holcook, and we brought her into campus to I guess reach out to our students and have them apply to NMC and talk about FAFSA and financial aid.
So, my last question is, what is your plan? Should you be confirmed? What, I guess, what would be like your main priority, do you think, or you want to look into?
So I know you kind of touched or mentioned it earlier, but it is to bring NMTI here to ROTA, because here on ROTA we have a lot of students, who are at a disadvantage, and it's not to say that they don't have opportunity. Some of them just are at a disadvantage financially, and so if we could bring NMTI here to ROTA for our students, I think that would be probably one of my top priorities. But like you said, if instructors can't come here, then maybe if we can find money to send these students to Saipan and help them, then I think that will also work for them.
I'm just thinking maybe one of the first responsible action you can take is assess how many young kids we have from ROTA that are not employed and are willing to be employed if they have the skill, the necessary training, so we can see. I think there's maybe some kids out there that are shy and are just staying home, but they don't see any opportunity available, and we just knock on their doors and say, do you want us to help you? We can write down your name, phone, and we'll reach out, and so that we can send them to Saipan if there's no program here, and then I even identify, maybe we might get 5 or 6, and then we can justify getting the training available here in ROTA. It's just that I believe there are some kids out there that have graduated the last 2-3 years, and they're very quiet, and maybe we just need to reach out to them. Is that, you think, a problem in ROTA?
I don't know if it's a problem on ROTA, but I think that some of these students, they're just waiting to be heard, and I think that if you do reach out to these students, they will open up to you and they will tell you what they need. And so I feel like there is a lot of work to be done, right? And we need to reach out a lot.
So I'm going to challenge you and maybe provide us in the near future. How many young kids do we have in ROTA that are unemployed, looking for a job, or just staying home and I want to use those data to see what we can do to reach out to NMC, NMTech in Saipan, and also, the scholarship office, and so that, because, I can't overemphasize the need in the CNMI for increased workforce. That's the challenge that we hear that every day, about how we need to go and have 902 meetings, talk to Department of Labor, to see what we can do with labor force needs here in the CNMI, and I think we just need to assess better the number of young individuals out there in all the islands that we can possibly give the opportunity to train, get them to be involved and have a meaningful job, right, that they can take on. And so we want them to participate in our economy, right? So I'm going to be calling you later on this statistics that we can look at and assess and see what we can do. No? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Paul. Both of them have already disclosed their conflicts, right, potential conflicts. And the form they allude to is that when I first took over this committee, I required that each member disclose their conflicts with any nominees. We are dedicated to a fair confirmation process. And so I required them to disclose whatever conflicts they have, and they are part of the records of every confirmation hearing we have. However, we do also consult with our legal counsel, and the legal counsel has determined that there is no conflict of a personal nature with Senators Donald and Magnolia, as they do not, unless they plan to enroll at NMTech, they have no personal interest or conflict in the confirmation or rejection of the nominee, Ms. Magnolia. So I just wanted to put that out there, and no, I do not have a conflict with Ms. Magnolia. Ms. Magnolia, I understand your limitation having never served on NMTech board. So part of what we do is when we do confirmation hearings for people who have never served on that particular board, is we offer recommendations as well. So you will hear a lot of that because we've already vetted other nominees for the same board, and we will probably be asking you some of the questions that we have asked them as well. One of the things is I wanted to ask you not only to explore your visions for NMTech, but also your whys. What made you decide to accept the nomination for NMTech?
So, over the past few months, I've had a bunch of seniors coming into my classroom and asking me, to help them with certain options after college. And some of these students, we know for sure that they're not for college, right? You know that they're not college bound, and you know that when you teach these students for a certain amount of years outside of the classroom and on the basketball court, you get to know them. And so you know that some of them are more hands-on, and some of them require, examples and real physical exemplars. And so I think with those in my mind, I feel like I can help them. If I were to be a part of this board, I think that I could find ways and work with others to see how we can reach these students. Because not all of them are for college, or for the military.
Thank you for sharing your insight on that. I like the idea of virtual classrooms as well. It's how we can bridge this gap, at least temporarily for now. For courses, let's say like cosmetology, I think but I'm not an educator and I'm not running NMTech, so I don't know if they have the capacity to do that, but I do like the idea of virtual classrooms to be able to reach out to the other municipalities. One of the things that we have discovered is that MVA has a certificate program for tour guide operators, and I think that is misplaced. And it could be possible that NMTech wasn't in existence. And so what this certification is that anybody who is going to open up a business as a tour guide or is going to hire a tour guide has to be knowledgeable in NMI history and the location of artifacts and things of that nature. But NMTech runs a certification program. So that's why I think the tour guide certification program under MVA is misplaced, and I think it should be at NMTech. So I hope you take a look at that and make a determination whether it is and should and stay with MVA, or it could possibly fall under NMTech. One of the more serious issues facing us in the very near future is that in May of 2008, the Consolidated Natural Resources Act, CNRA, take note of that acronym, you'll probably hear it a lot if you get confirmed as an NMTech trustee. And that federal law extended a lot of the U.S. immigration provisions to the CNMI. The United States Congress gave us 20 years to transition out of imported labor. And we have argued that our economy cannot support that. We do not have the workforce, and that is why they gave us a 20-year transition period. And that will expire in December of 2009. So we are mere 5 years away. I don't see the workforce that is supposed to replace imported workforce, whether contract workers in particular. And we are now 5 years away, and what this law stipulates is that it would gradually decrease our dependence of imported labor. And like everything else the government does, we drag our feet until we hit panic mode. I think that if you were to be confirmed as an NMTech trustee, I think you should go in there screaming as if the house is burning and is on fire, because we are and should be in panic mode. We don't know, and we are hearing that the United States Congress will not extend this, but we don't know. It could change between now and 2009. And as Senator Paul alluded to, we constantly read in the papers or hear about NMTech graduating, certifying hundreds of their students. However, we are not seeing them transition into the workforce. So obviously there's a disconnect between NMTech and building up the private industry, because they are certifying mechanics, plumbers, electricians, culinary students, but we are not seeing them transition into the workforce. So I hope that should you become confirmed, you look into that. Where is this disconnect? Because we seriously need to build up our private sector economy, not just our public sector. We can no longer rely on the public sector to continue to provide employment for our people. It is just not sustainable. The other serious issue that we have and currently facing is the touchback provision of the United States immigration that was extended to the CNMI. And what that is excuse me, for contract workers who have submitted renewal applications, they have to exit the CNMI for a certain number of days. And that is affecting currently the construction project in Saipan in particular, the road project. It was halted as soon as the award was contracted. They lost out of 130 construction, one company alone who was awarded the contract. Out of 130 contract workers, construction workers that they had in their roster, they lost 95 due to the touchback. So it affected that project severely. We're still at a snail's pace with the construction of the road project in Saipan. And so that is something that needs to be looked at in sync with NMTech, NMC, PSS. Saipan is having a hard time recruiting for NMTech. There's been more enrollees over the years. COVID, I think they were operating at their peak prior to COVID, but during COVID, students were disadvantaged and I guess they lost interest. But I hope we can revive some of that interest, and it seems that you're seeing as an educator youth from ROTA who are interested in building up their trade skills. So I propose to you to come up with a plan to have a pilot project here in ROTA. Since there's a lot of interest here, perhaps NMTech can run a pilot program here because you need to build your workforce here as well. And I think it's a good opportunity for ROTA to seize that. Have a pilot project here or a program, certify and have them move into either the private workforce or government workforce. Many of your government workers here are aging and they need to be not replaced, but they need to have some kind of, ROTA government here needs to have some kind of fallback plan should the elder employee retire. So that's a way to capture that. Those were the two major serious issues that I had. One was the touchback and the other was the 2009 expiration of the CNRA Act. So please take a look at that. I have no questions. I have no doubt you will extend your skills and your knowledge to help the CNMI as a representative of ROTA on NMTech. And this time I will yield to Senator Donald, who has some follow-up questions.
Thank you, Chair. I know some of these questions came along as members were providing their recommendations, and so something that I want to just bring up so that you're aware of and that you can look more into is, the use of like the ROTA guest house that we have on Saipan, the delegation appropriated money so that we can renovate these buildings. And I know this may make some rooms available, and so we have a small group that would like to go to Saipan and enroll in the program. That's one avenue that could be used to house them. We have quota. If we get a good number, then we can always request with quota to use one of these guest houses as a bus stop, stuff like that. I also know that there has been discussions with PSS going into a 4-day school week. I'm not sure what the board has decided or will decide, and I know that as we are still trying to increase revenues and provide more funding to PSS, if that's not the case next school year, and it does happen to if PSS does go into a 4-day work week, school week, maybe that's where NMTI can come in and say, let's use Fridays to offer these classes to students so that the education doesn't stop, at least with the high school students. And even if that's not the case, I was just reading CNN a few days ago where several school districts in Texas actually moved into a 4-day school week to battle the the issues over lack of teachers, and so it's just offering teachers one day off, and so hopefully, if that is working out in the States, hopefully that's something that we can implement here and then use that one extra day to have students start, developing themselves professionally. And then the last recommendation that I wanted to bring up is that it's a good thing that you are, if you're confirmed that you are working with the Civil Service Commissioner, Ms. O'Reilly Meslin, and I hope that some of the things that you can discuss are some of the recommendations that maybe need updating in regards to job requirements. I know one example, the Secretary of Department of Public Works was sharing that there's a position that was open here in ROTA, but unfortunately it was closed because one of the requirements was it needs an AA degree. And then additional requirements include some work experiences in construction, some work experiences in electrician positions. And so, maybe reassess some of these positions, and maybe instead of an AA degree, it could be a certificate in whatever field is needed in that particular job. And so there are some job opportunities here. Unfortunately, the requirements may be too high and it's not like we're trying to discourage students from going to get their AA, but there's another alternative, which is trade school. And so I hope that you are able to communicate that with Commissioner Meslin and try to work out updating our civil service rules and the requirements for certain positions. And so, and the last recommendation is, again, like Senator Paul had mentioned, the ROTA Municipal Scholarship is a great source for students to tap into to help in the educational process, whether it be school or technical. And so that's a resource that students can use to help subsidize the cost of having to stay on stipend if that's what's needed for them to get their certificate. So I just wanted to share with that in closing, and so that's something that you can take with you and look more into. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Paul. Recognize.
I guess another task I'm going to ask you, Chanel, to look into is because of the size of ROTA, right? When you look at the number of students as compared to Saipan, I know that in Saipan they have NMC, they have NMTech, and they all deal separately with each other. So we don't have to do it the same way on ROTA and in Tinian. I think we should encourage them to have better cooperation so that they can, for example, we can have some of those students at NMC combined with NMTech students, and we can then share in the cost of having a program or a class, a particular subject matter, right? So that's the way we should be working on ROTA in cooperatively. NMC, PSS, NMTech. So that's the challenge that we have, because on Saipan they're talking about a campus for NMTech, a facility, school. So they're trying to fund that. So naturally they would go for big grants so that they can budget for those improvements and facilities. In the case of ROTA, we don't maybe need such a facility because we have NMC, so we can actually use the delegation to sit down with NMC, and we can say use part of the college or build behind there. So we can put them all in one area, and the main goal though is to get our students ready for whatever job that they wish to take. So that's the task that I'm going to ask you to follow up also and work with us, so that the ultimate goal is to give our students the skill, right, and whatever they decide to take on. Again, the grants that they're getting, is basically for facilities and for hiring instructors and people that would do the trainings. So how does ROTA participate in that, given the lack of students, not many students that are willing to go into the programs? That's the challenge that we face here when we try to look at the budget and try to meet with the administrators. So I just want to point that out. And I think also that we need to sit down with the ROTA Chamber of Commerce. We need to assess what they need, a number of workers, talk about our workforce and our ROTA. So thank you, Madam Chair, and I'll see this month.
Thank you, Senator Paul. Anything further? Ms. Manglonia, do you have any closing remarks for the committee?
No, I don't have any closing remarks.
Thank you. You are hereby dismissed.
Thank you.
We will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is miscellaneous. Just wanted to make an announcement that the next hearing, EAGI hearing to vet the nomination of Ms. Luella Ichihara Marciano, nominated to be the Director for Indigenous Affairs office will take place on Saipan on April 2nd, 2024. And if you guys wish to provide any comments, even though you're in ROTA, you're welcome to send us an email or email to the office, and we will take that into consideration as well. Are there any announcements from the members? If there are none, I will recognize Senator Paul Manglonia for the proper motion to adjourn today's meeting.
Chair, I vote that we adjourn, subject to the call of the chair.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and it has been seconded. Are there any objections to the motion? There being none, the motion is hereby adopted. This meeting has adjourned at 3:25 p.m. today. Thank you.